Panther Nation, Rockstar Gang. What up? What up? What up? What up? How are we? Yeah, I mean, nobody it shouldn't be a shock to anybody. I told you it was going to be an atrocious football game. I told y'all it was going to be an atrocious football game. Honestly, we fought. At the beginning, at least they made it competitive, but in the end, it faltered. When you go look at these stats, man, I mean, dude, it's just insane. Like if we're looking at the ESPN statistics right now, from a standpoint of this offensive line, like, listen, we can blame Bryce, okay, and we'll get into Bryce's performance as well. But I mean, we can blame Bryce. You can blame who you want to blame. Everybody has the right to blame who they want. Okay. At the end of the day, your offensive line, I granted your offensive line has done us no favors though. Okay. Like if we're looking at this team from a whole, your offensive line, our offensive line, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan. So our offensive line, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan. Okay. 7.5 sacks, 6 tackles for a tackle for a loss, 2 PDs, and 11 quarterback hits. And Bryce was pressured 15 times. So we can go ahead if you want to. You can be the jokesters and you can be the guys and want to sit here and go ahead and just go straight towards Bryce and say he's the problem, he's the issue. Sure, that's fine. You do that. You do you. Okay, you do you. At the end of the day, you know whether he's the right guy or the wrong guy, it does not matter at the end. Based off the offensive line standpoint. His performance is also based off how the offensive line does perform. And are we not wrong on that? Because they're the one who's protecting him. They're the one who's supposed to give him time. Yeah, and there's multiple times. Yes, has there been times where Bryce has held on to the ball too long? Sure. Has there been times that Bryce has made the wrong decision? Sure. But we're going to dive into the fact of how this team has failed Bryce Young in every way, shape, or form, whether you like it or not. And I'm only defending Bryce from the standpoint of the fact of the matter that we are talking about a rookie quarterback here, okay? We're talking about a rookie quarterback, okay? At the end of the day, we're talking about a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks have tendencies. They all do, right? They all have tendencies, okay? But we're going to dive into all of that here shortly. Let me pull this up for you guys as we go through this channel. And of course, I have pinned in the comments, if you want to join the live stream over on YouTube, you can come and say your piece if you'd like to hop on as we go through today's show. I mean, there's just an urgent call for change though, guys. I mean, it needs to be done. I know that they were going up against the Dallas Cowboys, but if next week you're going up against, this coming week you're going up against the Tennessee Titans, right? I mean, this season has been nothing short of a debacle. Okay, we all know that it has been nothing short but of a debacle. Okay, and you know what I mean? It's just been nothing but short of a debacle. And this defeat against the Cowboys was nothing short of of feeling apathetic, angry. It's time for this team's management to take decisive action and make the necessary changes. Okay. You're 1-9. The staffing changes are desperately needed. David Tepper, who's a billionaire owner, needs and must show his impatience and act swiftly. I mean, this coaching staff in particular is on the hot seat. It's time for someone to take responsibility for this team's poor performance and be held accountable for it. Simple and easy as that. I mean, Frank Reich's leadership has been nothing but disappointing. Look at how many penalties this team is causing per game. Look how many turnovers this team is causing per game, right? Look at the lack of motivation. I mean, Frank Reich has lost the locker room. He's on the hot. He has the hottest seat in football right now because, again, like I said, this team lacks discipline and it's simply unacceptable. I mean, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to play football, and you can't even the simple matter is, at the end of the day, Wright must take full responsibility and address these issues immediately or face the consequences, one or the other. And yes, Bryce has been struggling, and his poor performance directly reflects this team's subpar coaching. It's high time, for the coaching staff to step up, provide Young the necessary support, guidance to help him get back on track. And it's not just the quarterback who's struggling, though, guys. Okay, the defense is okay. I'm going to give Evero credit where it's due, though. He is working with practice squad players and is still making things happen on that standpoint, okay? The offensive line is in shambles. The team's players are disorganized. They lack confidence. They're playing with no sense of urgency. The coaching staff has to take full responsibility for this and act accordingly. But most of this fucking fan base, okay? These Carolina Panther fans, podcasters, all of you content creators, if any of you are watching in here, want to go ahead and jump right to the conclusion that it's Bryce Young's fault. You want to go straight to his throat, but we don't want to go talk about all the multiple issues that this whole organization has from a whole, from an owner standpoint, from a GM not drafting correctly and having the terrible scouting report and filling in the lack of depth and talent here through free agency in the draft. We don't want to talk about how Frank Reich has lost this locker room and has never had this locker room since he's got here. And he lacks motivation or it doesn't even seem like he wants these guys to excel and succeed. You've got a head coach on your team as a defensive coordinator, but yet you don't want to move him up within the coaching staff because you got an idiot as an owner, doesn't know what he's doing. But then we want to talk about Bryce. Yes, Bryce has his issues. But what looking at this roster from top to bottom tells you that you think that you could be successful with any other quarterback in here. You're telling me CJ Stroud wouldn't struggle with the offensive line that we've got? And Jonathan Mingo yesterday, let's talk about him real quick. That bland pick six interception and Jonathan Mingo not even really going after the ball, didn't show any effort towards going to the ball. Because if you watch the replay, there's no effort going towards the ball. And that tells me all I need to know about a player like him. But we don't want to talk about that either, do we? Marcos Cash, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about that. We'll get to that, okay? But when you go watch Mingo on that replay, there's no effort of him going towards the ball when Bland makes that pick six. And it tells me enough to know that what I can see from Mingo and what kind of player he is. We'll break down the game film. Trust me. There is going to be a game film breakdown. So we will get to see every single play. But again, yesterday's game, you can't blame it on Bryce when he has no time or no chance to do anything. And that's all I need to know from him. That tells me enough that I need to know. I mean, you can't tell me that it's just Bryce, though. I see a lot of people going after Bryce. We got our first caller coming in. Mets 2128.
Hey, Clay.
Hey, Mets. How are you?
I'm going to be blunt. I didn't bother watching the game, but if I did, I would have been pulling my hair out because, one, technically I'm a Giants fan and I hate Dallas with a passion.
I feel you.
Two, because I knew it was going to be a crap heap for Carolina. I mean, in my view, as much crap Bryce gets as being cast as scapegoat because he's so indecisive, he gets pretty much crushed every other play. The blame, in my view, goes on the front office for making the Faustian bargain to trade away DJ Moore, number 9, 2023, which then turned into Jalen Carter after the Bears trade down to give that pick to Philadelphia.
Right.
And the top pick in the coming draft. You do not do that sort of crap.
Right.
Hype does not play into reality.
Right.
In my opinion, the scapegoat should be David Tepper, not Bryce Young.
Right. Now, you're right. No, and I've been trying to preach it. Mets. What's your, is it okay if I just call you Mets? Or I can call, or you can just tell me your real name, whichever you prefer.
Zach.
It's Zach?
Zach.
I'm sorry?
S-E-T-H.
S-E-T-A?
H.
Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I've been preaching that on here for God knows how long.
Even if this team did get CJ Stroud, would the outcomes be any different? In my view, no. Maybe another win or two at the most.
Correct.
But that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you the stats don't lie. If you go on ESPN, like I said, they had 15 pressures, 11 quarterback hits, they had 7 sacks. I mean, how can any quarterback play with that coming at him every single play? And also, what was crazy, there was a crazy stat about Micah Parsons. Out of the 10 pressures he had, 8 of them came within 2.5 seconds. So that tells you how much time Bryce had when Micah Parsons is on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So again, no.
Is if you had, at this point, I say bench Young for the rest of the year and give Andy Dalton another shot. I mean, you look at the game he had against Seattle. It wasn't pretty, but at least the team was willing to put up a fight with him under center.
Sure.
Every other game, including the game we won against Houston, it looked almost non-existent.
Right. Again, I don't disagree. I mean, because at this point, what's Carolina doing? What favors is he doing, being on the field right now? Right? Because he's
their tank is going to be in vain because it's going to Chicago.
Right. Correct. So, Matt, I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you giving your 2 cents. I really do. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you coming in and supporting the show as well. You're more than welcome to come on back on anytime. And other than that, man, hey, your Giants got to win yesterday. So that's got to count for something when Tommy DeVito's got his mom folding his laundry for him.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So anyway, hey, I appreciate you having me on, my friend.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. So that was Mets. Like I said, the link is in the pin. I pinned it for you. Anybody's more than welcome to come on. But I think that, I truly believe that us as fans and other fans out there, it's not just the quarterback struggling. All right. This offensive line is in shambles. The team's players are disorganized. There's lack of confidence again. There's no sense of urgency. This coaching staff has to take full responsibility. They don't know what they're doing. There's too much. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. At the end of the day, there's too many cooks in the kitchen at the end of the day. And confusion, I think, is I think we're beyond the whole, between the players, the team, the coaches. confusion is beyond what it is. But again, some of these Panther fans is beyond disillusion. This team's performance is unacceptable. It's time to manage for this management to take bold and decisive action to turn things around. Simple and easy as that. This team's future is at stake. You've already ruined it through the draft. There's nothing that we can do about it now. You're not going to be able to change things up. You're not going to be able to trade up now. You can't trade Brian Burns because you're not going to get the draft capital that you want. So you can get that out of your head. You're not going to get a first-round pick this year. We're basically tanking to be number one in the second round. And it's time for the Panthers to sit down Bryce. I think you got to sit down Bryce. You're going to ruin him if you continue to play him. And I think it's best that it goes like that. You sit him, you bring Dalton in, you just play out the rest of the season that way. Whatever the ending record is, it is what it is. You get Frank Wright out of here. You get Thomas Brown out of here. And you either get another coach outside of the organization or you promote within and you bring in Evero as your next head coach. All right. We've done mock drafts. We've talked about free agency. As time goes on, we'll talk about free agency. What guys we should probably target. And then obviously with the mock drafts that we've been doing, we've been talking about who we should draft at that first overall pick in the second round. But this team's management has to act fast. Our team management has to act fast, Panther fans. Whether you like it or not, this is where we're at. Josh, it's got to be done, man. The offensive line is not getting any better. James Campen is got to be on the hot seat better. And I'll explain more to why that is, though, Josh, okay? Regardless of the lack of talent on offense, the front office tried to sell us on the idea that this coaching staff could get us over the hump. Oh, the lies they tell. It's going to continue to do so. Remember when – yeah. Well, hey, Marcos, remember when Scott Fitterer said that Scott Fitterer said that they looked at this depth chart from top to bottom and only saw one hole. There was only one negative and everything else was positive. Yeah, Jarvis, at the rate they're going, it seems that Tepper wants to end Bryce's career early or get him killed. Hey, Jarvis, at this point, you got to sit the kid. You got to. All right, let's go through the game recap. Again, 33-10, crushing loss. Again, it's just a bitter pill to swallow at this point. As a diehard Carolina football fan, I'm just going to give you my detailed thoughts on this game. We're going to go over the recap, and then I'm going to give you every thought imaginable. Let's start with the Panthers defense. So let's talk about them real quick. They showed a lot of aggression in the first half. They were often reckless and made too many penalties. And again, the penalties are killing us, and the turnovers are killing us. That is the biggest thing. And this kind of performance is unacceptable, especially when you're playing at home and you're facing a formidable opponent like the Cowboys. So the defense, from my standpoint, I think needs to step up, play smarter to compete at this level. They need to work on their tackling. There was a lot of missed tackles. Coverage was abysmal by our corners. Pass rushing, really non-existent. Again, but we are going against the Dallas Cowboys, who have a great offensive line. They need to improve their communication, identify the opponent's plays. Defensive coordinator Evero needs to review the tapes, develop a better game plan for the upcoming matches. I can't get on them too much compared to obviously the offense, because really the defense has really still been the only bright spot on this team, right? So get Scott Fitterer out. Yep, he's got to be the next person. The next 5 games are winnable. You put it in Dalton now. It looked like Bryce let him finish the season because it's easier from here. I get that, Josh, but at the same time, again, do you want Bryce to continue to get pummeled? Do you want him to continue to let this offensive line destroy this kid? Do you want this atrocious offensive line to literally continue to block for this kid? I'd rather it be my veteran Andy Dalton than the guy that you apparently see as your future. And if you want to keep him as your future, you sit him down the rest of this season. As much as I'd rather see Bryce out there, but we're doing him no favors. This team was not built for Bryce Young. This team, honestly, I think was built for CJ Stroud. But again, you have an owner who meddled with the organization, got into the football operations, and chose to go with Bryce. And I have tried. I'm not saying I don't think Bryce is a bust, and I'm not willing to say that yet because he has come into one of the worst situations in football. But we want to. But in my opinion, this team has done nothing to set him up for success. The penalties were definitely bad, especially because they were getting frustrating super early. And then, of course, the turnovers. Dallas has the best pass rush of the league. Exactly, Elijah. Well, we'll win next week. Write it down. Here's the thing. If we don't beat Tennessee, which I'm not going to pick Carolina to do so, because, again, I'm not picking this team until I can see consistency and I can see competitive football. And I'm not picking Carolina to win another game this season. Okay. All right. I saw a child cover her eyes while watching the game. They got sad. No child should ever watch what she saw yesterday. So it was basically a complete massacre, right? It was basically a complete massacre watching that. Yeah, I mean, I know that. But then on the other hand, so let's talk about the Panthers offense, okay? They did show some potential in the fourth quarter, but of course, that's when it's a little bit too late, right? It's just them trying to, I don't know, show that they can perform. I don't know. By that point, when they finally showed some potential, it was definitely too late. They need to be more consistent throughout the game. This offense can't afford to start slow, then make up ground in the fourth quarter. It's just not going to work. Especially if they want to win games. They need to be more aggressive, maintain the intensity throughout the entire game. The offensive line needs to give Bryce more time in the pocket. The receivers need to get open more often. And Frank Wright needs to develop a better strategy that suits this offense's strengths. Not just Bryce, but the offensive line strengths, the wide receiver strengths, the running back strengths, and put a scheme together that makes sense. Or again, you know what? Just continue to keep doing what you're doing, Frank, and go ahead and update that resume and go ahead and get ready to send it in to ESPN or CBS to become a analyst, because right now that's what it looks like. Because overall, the Panthers need to work on discipline, consistency, which they haven't. And again, they make too many mistakes, penalties, especially. You can't do that against a team like the Cowboys, but really you can't do it as much as we're doing it with any team. All right, if you want things to be different, guys, and you want to start winning games, this coaching staff needs to be more assertive and play with more confidence and determination and be aggressive. All right. Frank Wright needs to motivate this team, but the players need to take ownership of their mistakes as well and work on improving their game. But again, you know, it's just like Scott Fitterer said. We look at this sheet, you know, we look at this roster from top to bottom. We only see one hole. Give me a break. So, again, I mean, because if you go look at back, all right. So if you go look back in the first quarter, which we're going to break down the game film tomorrow, but if you watch in the first quarter of that game, the Panthers put a 10-play drive. They failed to convert on third down due to Micah Parsons' pressure on Chandler Zavala, which Chandler Zavala, by the way, guys, what a bum that is. Okay. That guy did not even attempt to block Micah Parsons on that play. I think Elizabeth, you're right, and I think Frank needs to retire. Then after that, Chandler Zavala basically just let Micah Parsons on through. Just said, "Here you go, welcome to Sackland." Then the Cowboys responded with the touchdown pass from Dak Prescott to Shoemaker. Then on the next drive, the defense struggled. The defense will struggle to contain Miles Sanders, but Parsons again made a crucial play and forced another punt. This is the best game I've seen from Miles Sanders, and we're going up against a tougher opponent. This was the best game I've seen Miles Sanders run. And honestly, Elizabeth said it earlier in the chat. Why did they run away from the run game so quickly? Why did they run from the run game so quickly? But by that point, though, Elizabeth, I think it was just because that Dallas was, again, starting to pull away. Hey, I mean, my last draft, I traded back. And I know that, like, a lot of people, dude, I did a mock draft, and I still got shitted on because it was not realistic. Okay, great. That's what it's called a mock draft for. If you don't like my mock drafts, you don't have to comment on them. You can either just move on. It's the same thing with my channel. It's the same thing with my TikToks. It's the same thing with anything that I post. If you don't like it, I don't need to hear your 2 cents. You can move on. Okay? So, again, though, these are mock drafts. So, let's move on to the second quarter, okay? Again, costly penalties, okay? Which was obviously Cowboys took advantage of. They capitalized on those opportunities, got themselves in the scoring range. You get a pass interference called by Dante Jackson. Then, however, Xavier Woods commits both a horse collar and face mask penalty, which then gives the Cowboys a first down. Despite all this, though, somehow the Panthers held them to a field goal. Then the Panthers then responded with their best drive yet of the first half. They failed to convert in the red zone and on third down because of the defensive line of the Cowboys. Then the Panthers managed to get on the board with Eddie Pinheiro field goal. Then by the third quarter, it started off with a holding penalty by the Panthers, which made it challenging for the offense to find any momentum. The Cowboys continued to drive the ball down the field. Tony Pollard scored touchdown run, put the game out of reach for the Panthers at that point. Then Bryce threw a pick six on the following drive, sealing the victory for the Cowboys. And then despite some defensive play, the Panthers were unable to really match anything with the Cowboys' offensive firepower. Bryce Young faced constant pressure. They struggled to connect with other receivers, other than Adam Thielen. The defense played well for the most part of that game, but ultimately couldn't keep up with the Cowboys' offense. But this team has failed every single test. So that's the next part of this. I mean, Rock Jones, I mean, what else are you going to do, though, man? I mean, they only have that's all they've got. They only had those. They got what? They got a second round pick. They got the third round pick. They got a fourth round pick, 2 fifth-round picks, a sixth and a seventh. I mean, they're not going to be. They can't get in the first round this year. You can thank that man all the way to the far left over here, Scott Fitter, for that, right? You know what I mean? What is it? What are they supposed to do? But again, we're 11 weeks in this thing, guys. And again, this team has failed every test and have shown no progress. Their baby steps are not a sign of progress, but a testament to the lack of improvement, right? Guys, make sure as you're coming in, make sure you pound that like button. Get in the comment section. Love to hear your thoughts. If you want to join the live stream, I have pinned the live stream if you want to join. So you're more than welcome to come in and say your 2 cents if you would like. Just like Mets that came in here earlier. But make sure as you're coming into the live stream, guys, make sure you pound that like button. I greatly appreciate it. We got 23 people watching and only 9 likes. There's no reason why we shouldn't have 23 likes. So make sure you pound that like button, guys. I really greatly appreciate it. The more you like, the more people get to come and see my my show, and that's the biggest thing for me. I could care less about super chats, gifts, money. I don't care about that. I just want people to find me and support me. That's all I ask. So liking, subscribing, following, those are the 2 things you can do best for me. Feel free to get in the comment section and let me know. I love to hear y'all's thoughts. I really do. Tapper needs to stop being involved with the draft. Fit needs to go. He's the worst GM in the NFL currently. Yep. Off-season next year, 2024. We're going to be doing a lot of off-season stuff here soon, guys. I mean, we might as well just go ahead and get into it. But again, we're 11 weeks in this thing, and they have failed every test that have shown no progress. Even the baby steps are not even showing progress. And that just shows the lack of improvement, the lack of changing things up, the lack of trying to build around these strengths, around these players' strengths. It's just proven right there that's an issue. Because think about it this way. Okay, they played the Cowboys. Okay? They didn't show any signs of a complete team performance again. And it was still not enough to make them, and they, even if they did have some progress or looked like they were playing better, it was still not enough to make them even look good. And despite the better run game and the excellent defensive start, the Panthers still looked inconsistent and could not sit. I know I didn't expect them to win the game. But the issue is that the inconsistency has been a significant issue from the Panthers throughout the season, contributing to their 6th consecutive losing season. Again, listen to what I just said. 6th consecutive losing season. Sixth. Your owner, David Tepper, is 30-61. Now he's 30-60, 62, 63 as an owner. As an owner, he's 30-60, whatever. And that, while some players like Derek Brown, Frankie Luvu, right? Who else? Adam Thielen. Those guys have shown consistency. Those guys have shown excellent effort. Others have underperformed their reputation and expectations. Brian Burns, you're one of them. Sorry, we're gonna call a spade a spade. We might as well call it how it is. This guy's looking to get paid $30 million, but he ain't playing like no $30 million player. And that is also could be a part of the clear sign that there is a leadership problem here. And it's time for the Panthers to address it. The Panthers have how many players? 53 players on this roster? 50 players on this roster, right? Many of whom are known to be good. However, most need to perform better. What's that an indication of? Well, that's the coaching staff needs to utilize their talents. Even the most pro-ready quarterback of all time, whoever that may be, whoever y'all want to call that, okay? And then I'm not saying Bryce Young's pro-ready. I don't even know if Bryce Young was pro-ready. In my opinion, he's not. But he has also been unable to perform well due to the lack of support from the coaching staff. Yes, he has his rookie tendencies. Does he hold on to the ball too long? Sure. Is he not reading the defenses correctly? Right? Sure. That precise membrane that he's got of being able to read defenses is not showing that in his performance. Okay? His decision making isn't very good either. Okay? So yes, he has these tendencies. He has rookie tendencies. He also overthinks on plays. You can see it with his footwork. You can see it with him trying to find a person open. But again, also, this coaching staff hasn't done him any favors. The lack of talent around him hasn't done any favors either. But there is just multiple issues that we have to acknowledge of all these failures and start over and with a clean slate. Firing this coaching staff in a first season may suggest failures in the hiring process and the instability of the organization. So guess who that falls back on? Scott Fitter. And it's necessary in this case. They need to create a stable environment for a rookie quarterback. Okay? They can do so by hitting a new general manager. Then you get a new head coach who are on the same page from the beginning. You got to make sure that these guys aren't yes men and are saying, yes, sir, David Tepper, we'll do whatever you want. They got to make sure that they got to make sure and let David Tepper know that, hey, you will not be getting involved with any of the football operations. You will not be telling me who to draft. You will not be telling me who I will sign and who I won't sign. You will not tell me how to coach and what system I should run. You don't know what you're doing, Fit, so stay out of it. Or not Fit, Tepper, sorry. But you have to get a general manager and a head coach who are on the same page from the beginning. Yeah, Lawrence, I am. Unfortunately, Lawrence, I am. Unfortunately. But if you do that, this will give the new leadership, this will give the new leadership team the authority to make decisions and build a team from scratch. I feel you. I think Scott Fitter's got to go. I'm waiting for it too. Our demeanor as a team is a direct reflect on the coach. I like Frank, but he's not the right coach for us. Rock. I can't agree more, man. I can't agree more. I've been saying that. But here's the thing. The Panthers do have two assets. Lawrence, I would want Bowles out too if I was you, my friend. But the Panthers do have two assets. You got Evero's defensive mind, and you got Bryce Young's potential. The potential is still there. He's a rookie, okay? I'm not ready to say he's a bust yet, but I'm not too happy with his performances either. I think Evero has done an excellent job, and that's why he's an asset to this team. I think Evero has done an excellent job with the players he has left, and with all the injuries. And hell, he's made things work with with practice squad players. And he shouldn't be given. And I think but he shouldn't be given a guarantee today. Young, on the other hand, is far from a promise. His fate should be decided by the next leadership team, who can either use him as a player or you use him as trade bait, which is that something that whoever comes in could possibly do. So, if you fire Scott Fitter, once they fire Scott Fitter and once they fire Frank Wright, again, there's no promise that Bryce Young is going to still be here. Again, his fate could be decided by whoever the next head coach is and whoever takes over as GM. And they're going to either use him as a player, again, or they're going to use him as trade bait. And I wouldn't be surprised if they used him as trade bait, whoever the next person comes in. Because, again, those two, that GM and that head coach, got to be on the same page. And either that GM and head coach are okay with Bryce. But if they're not, I wouldn't be surprised that they don't use him as trade bait. Elijah, you might not be wrong. I'm not going to say that you're wrong, my friend. Definitely not going to say that you're wrong. Because, who would? This is one of the worst situations in football. I would love Evero for head coach. Yeah, someone will have to sit David Tepper down and say, hey, you've got to sit your ass down. But if I'm David Tepper right now, and I'm the owner of the Panthers, first off, I would be sitting my ass down now getting involved in football operations, besides the fact of trying to find a new head coach and a new GM. But finding a new GM first and then letting that GM bring in the coach that he wants. I would say, you know what? I've gotten involved. I have screwed up. I've messed this whole situation up. Let me take a step back and sit my ass down, right? Because he needs to lead a national search for a new general manager. And after another thorough examination, the new GM should be able to hire whoever their preferred head coach candidate is, because the Panthers' fate will be built and tied together, and a new team, direction, and authority to make their own decisions are the only way forward. And David Tepper, if somehow you find my channel and you listen to me, listen to what I just said. The Panthers, okay, after you find because you're going to be the one who's going to be finding the new general manager, David Tepper. After your nice thorough examination to find your new GM, once you hire him, that GM should go ahead and be able to hire that preferred head coach candidate. Him, not you, him, that GM. Then, again, the Panthers' fate will be built and tied together. And a new team, direction, enough authority to make their own decisions are the only way forward for this team. Otherwise, every new era is going to have at least one crucial voice constantly trying to make up for the mistakes committed before. I don't know how much more simple that is. Because if Tepper, again, that's why I'm saying, otherwise, every new era will have at least one crucial voice constantly trying to make up for mistakes committed before. And guess who that's been? David Tepper. That's how it's panned out. Which moves on to my next topic. Next head coach. So who are the potential candidates to be a next head coach here in Carolina? You're looking at them. These are guys that I have looked out, seeked out, thought about. And if you're looking at this, the look, you're looking at these guys right here. Some of these guys you know, maybe some of these guys you don't know. So let's talk about the first person, okay? And these guys are in no particular order on who I want the most, okay? It's just a list, all right? So let me be clear with that. This is just a list. This is just a list of guys I think that could be potential candidates that they, maybe they could go after, okay? From a head coaching standpoint. Now, I might be jumping ship here, right? I might be jumping ahead, right? And not talking about a list of candidates to be the next GM. Because, of course, I think still, whoever the next GM is, is going to have a say, I think, and I'm hoping so, and praying so, that they will be able to choose their next head coach, like I was just talking about. So the first candidate, Wes Phillips. He's the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Down over here in the left-hand corner, as you can see, that's Wes Phillips right there. There's been a lot of injury challenges over there in Minnesota. But he still has a high-performing offense. Look at Josh Dobbs. Of course, you got the guidance of Kevin O'Connell. The offensive coordinator, Wes Phillips. He's the grandson, fun fact, of Coach Bum Phillips. If you didn't know who that is, go look him up. Coach Bum Phillips. Bum Phillips was a great coach. He was a great coach. If you don't know who he is, go look him up. Google is a wonderful thing, okay? But he has a progressive offensive mind. He's got that he's rooted in that Sean McVay coaching tree, potentially bringing in some innovation to this Panthers offense. Now, granted, we all know how that is, though, with the Sean McVay thing, Thomas Brown coming from it. But Wes Phillips has been an offensive coordinator. He is calling the plays over there in Minnesota. Okay. So it's not like this guy is just, he's not just learning. He's already he's been a play caller. Right. Another guy, Eric Bieniemy. We all know who he is. Eric Bieniemy right here. Assistant head coach there in Washington. He's an offensive coordinator too. Had the Panthers chosen Eric Bieniemy in 2020, I think the team might have avoided its current predicament. I truly believe that. And now with the Washington Commanders, Bieniemy has showcased his offensive-minded skill set that he's got, particularly in developing quarterbacks, because look at Sam Howell. All right. His pass-heavy approach, rugged coaching style, honestly could inject new life in this Panthers offensive struggles. Another guy I like, this man right here. If you don't know who he is, this is Frank Smith. Now, he's the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. He's got obviously, we know how their offense is. It's dynamic, high-powered offense. Obviously, it's led by Mike McDaniel. He has caught the league, but Frank Smith has caught the league's attention. Okay, his contribution to Miami's success I think, has put him as a potential head coaching candidate. I think the Panthers could benefit from Smith's experience as a play caller and his diverse offensive strategies. If you look at another one, we all, how much I like this guy. This guy right here in the background there with that Lions hat on. Y'all know who that is. It's Ben Johnson. Although Ben Johnson turned down a chance to interview with the Panthers, which I don't blame him, probably because he found out that, our owner's meddling into football operations. But his offense, his scheme that over there in Detroit, obviously that solidifies his credentials, right? Johnson's potential return could offer the Panthers a fresh perspective, revitalize this offensive strategy as well. Got Bob Slowick. Another guy over here, the Texans. Look at the success he's having with C.J. Stroud in his first year. You know, Bob Slowick has tailored a scheme around C.J. Stroud that's obviously benefiting him. The progressive thinking, coupled with the experience developing first-year quarterbacks, could be the remedy that the Panthers' offensive struggles needs. Okay? They could promote within, right? We've been talking about that, though, guys. Again, the Panthers could promote within, right? It is an option. All right. Like, I think Evero, despite this team's challenges, is highly respected, could be a strong candidate for a head coaching position. I think other internal candidates probably could happen. Jim Caldwell, maybe. Deuce Staley, maybe Thomas Brown. I doubt it, but they could promote within. Another guy I like on this list and on this is Todd Monken over here in the right-hand corner. Or left-hand corner. Maybe it'll be, left-hand corner. Right? Todd Monken. The Baltimore Ravens. He's the offensive coordinator there. He's been turning heads over there for the Ravens. He's improved a systematic concept over there. And the success of Lamar Jackson has made him a compelling candidate. His experience with top-tier college programs kind of adds to his appeal as a potential head coach. And then last but not least, we've been talking about Jim Harbaugh. A lot of Jim Harbaugh, right? Obviously, that would be basically a complete culture reset. They might consider a high-profile guy like Jim Harbaugh because obviously I know he's a head coach over there in Michigan, but Harbaugh's tough and no-nonsense approach could inject a sense of urgency and discipline into the team and potentially steering them back into where they need to be. I think Jim Harbaugh wouldn't be a bad thing. Michelle, I'm behind on the live. Yes, Mingo put in no effort to get the ball during that play, resulting in pick six. He barely puts as much effort anytime he's targeted. Michelle coming in with some facts. That's what I was saying. I don't want Harbaugh. Panther Raider X. Well, hey, he would be a lot better than what we got, and I would take Jim Harbaugh any other day of the week because he would have no problem telling David Tepper to go kick rocks and say, this is my show. I'm the captain now, and this is how we're going to do things. And if that doesn't go bode well with David Tepper, well, I'm telling you right now, guys, I'll be honest with you. My first choice is Johnson, but I don't really think he'll ever come here. Dude, I want Ben Johnson too, but I don't think he will either. Out of all these guys, I mean, my top five guys is Jim Harbaugh, Slowick, Johnson, Bieniemy, and Evero. Those are my top five guys that I'm going with. I'd love to get Steve Wilkes back, but that will never happen. Because David Tepper would have to literally get on his hands and knees, and David Tepper's a billionaire, and he'll never do that. Whatever it takes to be, we should do. I'm totally agree, Rock Jones. I totally agree. He's a young coach. He's got an offensive mind. He's got that fire in him. He's got that background with Dan Campbell, which means I think he would have that kind of same coaching approach. That smash mouth, in your face coaching approach, not putting up with any bullshit, discipline, football would become, but also motivation, wanting you to excel. I think Ben Johnson would be the perfect coach really to be here. Like, if I had to pick anyone on this list, I'm taking Ben Johnson. Then I'd probably take Harbaugh. And then I'd probably go Bieniemy and then Slowick. And then I'd probably go Evero. Each and every one of these candidates bring something new to the table, but also are good coaching candidates. A lot better than, I would say, a lot of these guys are a lot better coaches than Frank Wright. A lot of these guys are better coaches than Thomas Brown. And I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I like Thomas Brown's demeanor. He has a head coaching demeanor, but I don't think he's experienced enough yet. I think that's his biggest issue. But we're definitely going to break down that game film, guys. I want it to be out right now because I'd love to break it down. I really want to break down the game film today, but I wish it would be up, but it's not. I've been checking the 22 for how long now? They still don't have any of the replay. They got replays up, but I can't do those replays. I have to do the coaching film replays. And they don't have the catch 22 replays yet. So if they have, if the catch 22 comes out tonight, I might do game film tonight. Where do I watch the coaches film? So guys, if you are on NFL Plus and you are, paying for it, that's how you can get the coaches game film. It's called Catch 22, right? So if you have that, but you have to pay like $11 a month, and I'm paying $11 a month to be able to bring y'all game film. So, if you want to check it out, well, make sure guys, if you want to check out the game film and you want to get in the game film session with me, make sure you pound the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click that post notifications bell over here on YouTube so you don't miss that. All right. As you're coming in, guys, though, continue to pound that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, it's free and it goes a long way for me. It helps support the channel the most. You just pounding that like button does the best thing. And y'all getting in the comment section. That's it. So, do I play fantasy, John? Yes, I do. Colton, Pickens, and Harris for Tony Pollard. I'm not a big, Colton, I wouldn't do that. I'm not a big fan of trading 2 players for 1. That's just me. Clauso, any CBB? I'm not sure what that means. Is that any college basketball? Is that what you're asking me, Clauso? Okay. Anyways, I got TikTok in front of me too, guys. But again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Let's get into something else here. I want to get into the next thing. I really want to talk about Bryce's performance in this last game, okay? I really want to talk about Bryce's performance in this last game. So I'm going to pull up his statistics from this last game. Give me 1 second. I got to go over to I want to pull it out through PFF, and I got to get logged into PFF. So give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Because we really need to talk about Bryce's performance as well. Excuse me. So let me get logged in here to PFF real quick. Come on. All right. Well, let's see here. PFF. Get that. All right. And let's go to Bryce Young. Doesn't look like they have they put up his stats yet on PFF? They haven't. Okay, never mind. We'll just use ESPN then. We'll have to use PFF because it doesn't look like PFF has the stats up from yesterday's game. Actually, you know what? We'll use it. You know what? We'll make this. We'll go to NFL.com. That might be better. The offensive line is getting destroyed so far. It's still hard for Bryce. Yep. What up, Clay? What up, Chris? What up, Chris? What's up, Chris? How's it going? What's up, Chris? James. What's up, James? Frank and Scott have to go today. Yeah, they do. They do, my friend. They do. All right, let's pull up this statistics sheet. We're going to go use ESPN. But I want to talk about Bryce's performance because I don't think I got enough involved in that or didn't talk about him enough. Okay, so this is Bryce's stats. Okay? This is Bryce's stats. Oh, wow. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. I mean, you just can't. You just can't make this shit up. Okay. So Bryce's performance was another example of why this team is struggling this season, okay? All right. He's the number 1 overall pick. Has been facing a losing battle since getting here. With poor protection, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay? Other content creators, delusional Carolina Panthers fans. This has been a losing battle ever since he's got here. There has been poor protection every single fucking game. There has been lack of weapons every single fucking game. No one's getting open. An uninspired scheme that is hampering his production because the scheme has been absolutely atrocious. When we break down game film, guys, have I ever broke down a game film and said, man, this play calling has been better? Man, this play calling has improved. Have I ever said anything about, oh, wow, Bryce actually had a lot of time to pass the ball? A couple times. Sure. A couple times. Have I ever said that the wide receivers weren't getting open or they were getting open? Yeah, there's times that the wide receivers are getting open, but obviously not enough. There has been no progression through anybody. It's not just Bryce. It's not just Bryce. It's not just Bryce, okay? We can sit here and say that, but it's not just Bryce, okay? Let's go look at this. So look at this. So I want you to look. All right. Let's go look at. Let's go look at this stat line. How about that? Let's go look at this stat line. Okay. Let's look at this stat line. Let's look at the Dallas defense stat line and look at this right here. Okay. This row. Okay. So you see the rows, right? You got sacks. Look at the sacks and look at all this. You see, look at the sacks. 7 sacks. 6 tackles for a loss. Quarterback hits. 11. You want to know a crazy stat? You want to know another crazy stat from yesterday? You want to know another crazy stat? Out of the 10 pressures that Micah Parsons had, 8 of them came at 2.5 seconds. That's how much time Bryce had to throw the ball, was 2.5 seconds. How do you expect any quarterback in the league to make a throw in 2.5 seconds when the scheme that we're running isn't getting the ball out quick? There's no quick game going on. Make this make sense. If y'all want to blame Bryce, blame it on certain things. Sure, holding on to the ball too long, missing an open wide receiver. Okay? But you can't do anything when you've got a guy pressuring you with 2.5 seconds. Make it make sense. I literally watched our 4th round pick, right? Chandler Zavala yesterday. Marcos Cash, make it make sense. No, it's just Bryce. You're so full of shit. Your eyes are brown. Marcos Cash, you're so full of shit. Make it make sense, my friend. If you want to blame Bryce, blame him. Blame him for his tendencies. Blame him for holding on to the ball too long. Blame him for missing open wide receivers. Sure. But don't blame that pick 6 when Jonathan Mingo didn't try to make a play on it and didn't put any effort towards it. Blame Chandler Zavala for not protecting him the way he's supposed to at left guard. Blame Ike Ekwonu for having one of the worst sophomore slumps. Blame James Campen for not getting this offensive line up to par. Bradley Bozeman has regressed ever since he's got here. Austin Corbett has an ACL, coming off an ACL. How do you expect him to protect? Get him back to his normal ways. Taylor Moton, not doing us any favors either. And his contract's killing us. So how do you put all the blame on a rookie quarterback? Make it make sense if you're going to do so. Besides the fact of his tendencies and his poor decision-making and not reading defenses, holding on to the ball too long. Sure, those are all rookie mistakes. Icky looks like a bust to me for a first-round pick. He needs to be moved to left guard. We need to get another left tackle. Or you move Brady Christensen over there once he comes back. Because Brady Christensen, between Brady Christensen and Austin Corbett, those guys have been the only 2 offensive linemen that actually have been pretty good. Bradley Bozeman's trash. Taylor Moton's supposed to be an all-pro, but he's playing like he's just about basically average. But you look at this roster from top to bottom, make it make sense. Marcos Cash, didn't want Bryce. Let me make this clear to you, everybody that's in here that thinks that I'm like a Bryce fanatic. Bryce, like, I just want the kid's here. We drafted him. It is what it is. He's here now. He'll be here until we get a new GM, and a new head coach. And if they want him, they'll keep him. They'll keep him as a player, or they'll use him for trade bait, like I said before. But again, how can we sit here and blame Bryce? Just him. I was high on AR. And I think AR is actually still going to pan out well. I just think that Indianapolis has just used him wrong. Right? Just used him wrong. But I will say this. I was wrong to think that Bryce Young could pan out in this situation. I will admit that. I will admit when I am wrong. I will eat my crow. I'll come on here, wear a clown suit for you if I need to. But I'll admit to my wrong. Okay? I'll admit. But I am not going to sit here and blame a rookie quarterback for everything that's going wrong with this offense and everything that's going wrong with this organization. Because it's multiple things. There's too many egos. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too much communication and confusion. This organization, everything from the top level to the bottom. And that's why this team needs a clean slate. It needs a complete wipeout. It's like most of you guys probably in here, you know? You got to delete your history you got to clear that history browser every single day. Oh, man. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with y'all. Whatever y'all do behind closed doors is your own business. I had to make a joke. All right. I had to make light of the situation, okay, that we're talking about here. Okay. You know how bad that sounds? I know. We had more hype on this coaching staff than Bryce. Let's be real. We did. We thought we had the Avengers, right, Chris? We thought we had the Avengers with the gauntlet in hand. I know, Panther Raider X. I know it sounded bad, but it was funny. But I'm just trying to make light of the situation, right? We can blame, yes. But there's multiple things, Chris, right? We've said it before. Why this team is atrocious. Okay? Multiple things. And it starts from the top. It starts from David Tepper meddling with football operations. And then it goes down to Scott Fitterer with the drafting and the scouts, you know, our scouting team. It starts with that, right? And it goes down to that, right? Bringing in lack of talent and depth through the draft and free agency. Frank Wright, non-disciplined, non-creative, lifeless play calling. This coaching staff can't teach disciplined football. Exactly, Rock. The whole damn franchise needs a reset. And whether we drafted the right guy or not, whether Bryce is the right guy or not, they still went with it. Whether they wanted CJ Stroud or not, he's not here. We, at this whole organization as a whole, is what the issue is. And so, but let's get back to his performance, okay? Because now we're breaking that down. But I just wanted to make this known. You look at that down there, 7 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, 11 quarterback hits. And I'm pretty sure if I can find the pressures, pretty sure the pressures was, it had to be something along the line of, let's see if I can see if they give you the pressures. I would love to see if there's any like QB pressures. I need to find the QB pressure stat for that game. Anyways, but then if we look at these stats, right? 7 first downs. Look how many first downs they got from penalties. 5. Non-disciplined football. First downs from penalties. The Dallas Cowboys literally got 5 first downs because of our penalties. Third down efficiency, 5 for 15. Not going to get it done. That's only at 33%. Total yards, 187. Okay. Sacks for yards for loss. 7 sacks and 46 yards lost. Penalties, look at that. Look at that. 8 for 90 yards. But let's blame Bryce. Now we're going to get into Bryce. Okay? I just want to make this known for all these other things, okay? I want people who are watching this to understand that it's just not all Bryce. I'm not defending the guy and saying he's the right quarterback for here, but I'm not going to let a rookie quarterback take all the blame for a disorganized organization and coaching staff. Exactly, Panther Raider X. That's why I keep telling you. This is why I keep telling you we have to build within the trenches and move to the outside for skill players. You build within the defensive line and the offensive line, and then you grab your offensive skill players. You grab your tight ends. You grab your wide receivers. You grab your corners. You grab your linebackers. You build within the trenches because that's how you win football games, within the trenches. We know that. Why do you think Alabama and Georgia are dominant in the NCAA every year almost? Because they build within the trenches. When they recruit, the same thing in the NFL. Why do you think the Eagles are so good? Because they built within the trenches. They built that offensive lineup. They built that defensive lineup. Same thing with San Francisco. They built that offensive lineup. They built the defensive lineup. That's why Steve Wilks should have been here from the get-go. When he took a team that started out 1-5, and he went 6-5, 6-6, whatever it was, almost won the NFC South last year. Why is it that we chose to go the other route? Because Steve Wilks is not a yes man. And that's why he's not here. Why do you think D'Amico Ryan and Ben Johnson chose to not come and interview? Because they heard that David Tepper is going to be meddling with the offense of the football operations. And then when probably Steve Wilks did his final interview, they were like, well, are you okay with this? Hell no, he's not okay with it. You know why Frank Wright said it was okay? Because he played here, he wanted to come here, and he just got fired. So he figured he could get back in here. He only took the job because it was given to him, basically. It was handed to him. As soon as that, David Tepper says, I'm going to be handling football operations, and Steve Wilks just walked away from the job. Simple and easy as that. So Frank Wright was the only person they could hire at that point. Because David Tepper, because Frank Wright was like, well, I just got fired. Might as well get right back on the saddle. All right, let's get back into Bryce's performance now, because we're going to talk about this. All right, thank you. Okay. So we can all see that. This is Bryce's stats. This is his QBR, completion, passing yards, touchdowns, plus he had an interception. We all know that. Okay. Now, Young's limited role was evident in this game, I thought. They did a run-first approach to move the chains, limit the damage done to Bryce. Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard. I thought they ran the football honestly well. This is the best game I saw from Miles Sanders' standpoint. Chuba did his thing as always. Again, Bryce Young threw the ball 29 times, only getting 123 yards. Moving forward, I think that we just got to continue running the ball. It's got to be a run-first approach to keep Young out of harm's way if they're going to continue to start him until we rebuild this offensive lineup. All right. The Panthers' offensive line has been a complete joke this whole season, guys. The Cowboys were on top of Young almost instantly every single play. Micah Parsons victimized Chandler Zavala, might as well just mounted his ass against the wall. He did the same thing to Bradley Bozeman, might as well mounted his ass against the wall, okay, throughout the game. Micah Parsons came in and was like, thanks, barbecue chicken all day long. Let me eat. And the whole time, Bryce Young was under extreme pressure. The pass protection has been non-existent. It has been non-existent before the Cowboys game. And they completely negated the good elsewhere. And until changes, nothing will improve for this team. Simple and easy as that. There's only one genuine connection that Bryce Young has on this team, guys, and it's Adam Thielen. Thielen's getting targeted. He got targeted 11 times. He caught 8 of them. Got 74 yards. If it wasn't for Thielen, the ball wasn't moving more often than not. So this is a testament that is a supreme consistency issue, and Carolina having nobody else that can legitimately contribute. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Bryce Young has regressed in recent weeks. The encouraging growth of the early part of the season is now a total distant memory in my opinion. The bad habits are coming out. There's no confidence. The mismanagement of his development have resulted in this. It's not all Bryce's fault, though. Again, it's the mismanagement of this coaching staff who have now created these bad habits, have created this non-confidence, the offensive line not doing him any favors. You might as well sit him now, okay? It's evident that Young's performance is going to continue to regress until this team provides him with better protection, better weapons, and it's unlikely that the protection is an improvement. And listen, guys, I'm not saying I need 6 all-star elite players, 7 all-star elite players. I'm asking for consistency. And you don't have to be elite in the NFL to be consistent. Marcos, I'm going to put you in timeout. Grim Reaper, keep pounding. But again, guys, he's regressing. It's time to sit Bryce. It's time to fire. It's time to fire Frank Wright. It's time to fire Scott Fitterer. It's time to get a GM in here, a new GM. It's time for David Tepper to sit his ass down, take a seat back, and start this thing from a clean slate. Let your new GM pick your next head coach. And then whether they want to continue with Bryce Young or use him as trade bait is fine by me. And honestly, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm looking at Adam Peters over there in San Francisco. And I'm also looking at the assistant GM in Kansas City. And then I'm bringing in a guy like Ben Johnson. Exactly, Marcos. And I wish I could say we could get him back. I would love to add him to that candidacy list. But the problem is that Steve Wilkes will never come back here. Steve Wilkes will never come back here. And I don't blame him. He will never come back here because David Tepper will meddle with the damn football operations. And Steve Wilkes is not having it. That's why he's not here. I don't think it was that Steve Wilkes didn't get hired. I think that David Tepper wanted to hire him. I think David Tepper was just saying, hey, I'm going to get involved in football. I'm going to be involved in football operations. And I guarantee you Steve Wilkes walked out the door. Said, I'm not dealing with that. But Frank Wright was, because he just got fired. So he was like, well, I need a job, so might as well take this one. You know? Guys, make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in. We should be over 25 likes. Make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in. I know we're at 19 likes, but make sure you pound that like button. Panthers are live press conference. Let's see if we can get it up, boys. Let's see if we can get it up. Give me a second. I'll pull up the live. See if I can get the press conference up. Let's see if I can get it up. Is it on YouTube? I don't know if I'm allowed to share it from YouTube. Oh, I see it. Give me a second. Yeah, y'all want to see what that has to say? Oh, I got something else to show y'all. Y'all want to see something crazy? All right, doesn't look like anybody's. Has anybody come on yet? Because I got the press pulled up, but it doesn't look like anybody's on. It's probably on Twitter too. It's not. It's not, unfortunately. Oh God, Cody, don't be going after someone's. Don't be going after someone's freaking wife. Don't be going after someone's wife, Cody. Oh God, Cody from C3. It's going after Bradley Bozeman's wife on Twitter. Ooh. Okay, I think Tepper asked Wilkes, "What's your plan at QB?" And Bryce wasn't part of the plan, so could be there too. Marcos, I mean, could be. Nobody has come on yet. Yeah, no one's come on yet. You're the best, bro. Jarvis, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that comment. No, I want to show y'all this from PNP while we're waiting. Look what PNP put on Twitter today. Look at this. I'm going to show y'all something. Where's it at? I just saw it. Don't be messing with my emotions now. Dude, Twitter's messing with my emotions. Where'd they go? Holy tits. Yep, that's awesome. Yep, she's awesome. Yep. Yuppers. Yeah, they're. All right, where is this PNP stat? Oh man. Dude. Pretty sure it's Panther Nation podcast. PNP. I'm trying to find it. Nobody's came up to the press conference yet. Yeah. There it is. So look at this offensive line statistically from a PFF grading standpoint yesterday. But let's blame Bryce Young. Taylor Moton's the only one. So how many hurries do we got here? We got 2, 4, 9, 12, 14 hurry ups. Bradley Brosman, 3 sacks. Chandler Zavala, 3 sacks. Ike Ekwonu, 1 sack. But 14 hurry ups, 11 quarterback hits, and 7 sacks. And then look at the pass protection grades by PFF. And we want to sit here and blame Bryce. Again, guys, you can blame Bryce for certain things. But again, make sure it makes sense. This press conference is taking forever. Yo, are we going to get live or what? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Shout out to PMP for putting that together. I mean, I could have probably just hopped on PFF since I have the subscription, but shout out to PMP for putting that up. I just wanted to show that for some of you in the chat. Ridiculous. We want to sit here and talk about Bryce is the problem. Bryce ain't the only problem. Get the fuck out of here. Multiple problems. $14. Again, guys, the stats don't lie. 14 hurry ups, 11 quarterback hits, and 7 sacks. But it's all Bryce's fault. Make that make sense. You keep telling yourself that, though. You keep telling yourself that. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Your eyes don't lie either. Yeah, Marcos Cash, they don't, man. They don't. But again, my eyes don't lie to me. And go watch that offensive line, Marcos. Stats don't lie either. Again, Marcos, you can sit here and say Bryce is the part of the problem. Sure, he is part of the problem, but he ain't the only one. And all you're saying is the same thing over and over again, Marcos, that it's all Bryce. Make it make sense, though, Marcos. If you're gonna make this argument, make it make sense. Because right now, your argument is lacking in detail. Stats don't lie. The facts don't lie. I'm giving you all the stats, the statistics. You're watching it. You can't sit here and tell me that it's not multiple things. Hey, Rock. Get out of here, Rock. God. Clay, you can't be biting on that banana. You got to break it off by... Rock, get out of my chat, bro. Rock, killing me, man. You're killing me, bro. Dude. Hey, you want to know how many likes the Carolina Panthers press conference has on their YouTube channel? 7. Is prolonging the inevitable or something just make us more upset? I know, dude. It's only got 9 likes over there, and I've got... How many likes we got over here, guys? We should have more likes than the press conference, at least. They only have 9 likes. How many likes we got over here? All right, we got 20 likes. We got 21 people watching. We should have over 30 likes at this point, guys. Make sure you pound that like button. But anyways, the press conference only has 9, so we're good. I'll give the press conference 10 likes. I'll like it for the press conference. But I'm waiting for the press conference to start. I would love to sit here and listen with you guys. Exactly, Jarvis. They are prolonging the inevitable. This press conference is taking forever, though, to load up. I wish it was on Twitter, but it's not. Marcos Cash, I will break it down for you tomorrow, or maybe later on today. Again, though, stop just blaming Bryce and make your argument make sense. That's it. Your eye test and all that doesn't lie. Yeah, it doesn't lie when I'm looking at the offensive line, allowing 14 hurry-ups, 11 quarterback hits, and 7 sacks. And Micah Parsons, out of the 10 pressures that he had, 8 of them came at 2.5 seconds. I'm going to rest my case. And then we just saw the stats, and we just saw the PFF gradings. Each and every one, from the left tackle to the right guard, besides Taylor Moton, was at basically 10%. A 10% grading. Again, Marcos, we can sit here and say that Bryce is part of the problem. I'm okay with that. But let's also blame others as well. Let's just stop blaming Bryce. Okay, Marcos? That's all I'm saying. Let's just not put it all on him. Whether he's the right guy or not, let's just not put it all on him. That's all I'm saying. Rock's like, I've already broke down the game film, okay? It was shit, and that's it. Still listening, been trading in fantasy. Josh, I feel you, man. I can't trade anymore in my league. Once the trade deadline, the actual trade deadline of the NFL was over with, that's how my league works. They need to be Tepper up. Maybe that's what we're going to get out of this. Maybe that's why they're prolonging this press conference. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share this press conference. What's up, Justin? Bryce has been bad because everyone around him has failed him. Yeah, Justin, you're not wrong, brother. Marcos Cash, your expectations are way too high. Josh, I don't know if I can pull it up from YouTube. Like, I can do it from Twitter without getting it taken down, but I just don't know if I can do it from YouTube. But maybe if I do it from this screen like so. I'm still waiting for it to come on. I'm sitting here holding my burrito in my hand, waiting for this damn thing to come on. Marcos, your expectations are too high, brother. Sorry. I love you, Marcos, and I appreciate your support because you support me every single time I'm live. But God dang it, man. Big Hawk, you need a running back off of waivers? Who do you got available off your waivers? That's the question. Who do you got available over there? And thank you for the follow, Big Hot. Appreciate that. You can. Let's watch it. Josh, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Maybe Tepper will address the media today. He better put on his big boy pants to face his fan base for sure. Rock rules for sure, man. Rock's the man. Rock Jones definitely fucks. Oh man. Honestly, all of y'all in my chat fuck. I love every one of y'all for y'all support, man. I really do. Every one of y'all that come in here and support me. You all rock. You all rock and roll. Exactly. Yeah, no, there's no hate. Dude, what are we doing here? Like, I'm still waiting for this thing to come on. Well, I'm glad, Panther Raider X. I'm glad that you do. That's what I want everybody to do. Come in here and hang out. But y'all are the reasons why this channel has grown so much. That's why we're at 3,700. The more y'all pound the like button and get in the comment section, like y'all are doing, the more we grow. Tepper, hurry up and tell us you're fired. The coaching staff. Well, I want him to go start with Spitterer first, and then let's get to the coaching staff. I don't want to go ass backwards. I don't want to do coach and then GM. And this time when we do the hiring process, Scott Tepper, make sure you get the GM first before the head coach. Fuck. Hey, I was hungry. Relax. Relax, Rock. We got to put the makeup on and shit? Yeah, for sure. Thanks. I've seen the Panthers bad before, but not like this. Yeah. 6 consecutive years of losing. How does that feel, guys? It's rough. Hey, Rock, but relax, my friend. Relax. I'm still waiting for this thing to come up, man. Like y'all are looking at the same thing I'm looking at for this press conference. Very sad. I'm surprised that no one has worn a paper bag yet. Honestly, Jarvis, I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I'll own up being a Panthers fan, and whether we're good or bad, obviously if we're good, I'll own it a lot more, but either way, I'll still own it. I mean, shit, I'm on here and we're 1-9, guys. I'm still going live. You know what's crazy is that we are 1-9, and even though I'm a Panthers content creator, I still come on here and still give y'all content, even though we're 1-9. There's people that behind closed doors are Panthers fans that are just, they only show up when the team's winning. They'll come out of the woodworks. They're like, oh, I've been here through thick and thin. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. It's just like when in like the movie Billy Madison, where Chris Farley's like, I mean, that's the way I compare it to. It's like when Chris Farley's like, that Veronica Vaughn's one hot piece of ease, and I know from experience. And he's like, no, you don't. And then he goes on. He's like, well, I know a guy and her that got it on. Woo-wee. No, you didn't. No, you don't. Exactly. It's the same thing. They'll come out of the woodworks and be like, oh, I've been here from the beginning. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Yeah, like Oh, by the way, guys. So guess what? I got some good news. Um, I got an Elgato. If you don't know what that Elgato is, it's a streaming device that you can use to stream gaming. So we're going to be able to do that Madden content. I promise you. It should be coming in the mail today, actually. So we can do that Madden content. All right. So I'm definitely going to be doing some Madden content. We'll do like a Panthers rebuild through Madden, and I'll have y'all come along and join the ride, and I'll stream it from my Xbox, and we'll do some Madden content. So I got the Elgato. It's on the way. It should be coming in the mail today, I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to check Amazon. I know I got it. Those things aren't cheap, though. I'll tell you that. Those things are not cheap. Matt Props, Clay, keep out. Yeah, man, I'm here from thick and thin. Oh yeah. So should be coming. What's that do? So I'll be able to stream. Okay, so like how you see the stream, how I'm able to share my screen with the press conference. Well, I'll be able to, with this Elgato, I'll be able to stream basically my TV screen with the Madden on it, and we'll be able to do like Carolina Panthers stuff. So I was thinking like doing rebuild. We'll play some games, stuff like that. Yeah, but you'll be able to see. I think with the Elgato, you'll be able to stream me and the Madden stream. I think if I just did it from the Xbox, I think you can't see me. You only be able to just see the Xbox screen. JSK, he's in here. Marcos are coming in and trolling. Marcos, that might be the funniest thing you've ever said in my chat. Honestly, Marcos, that might be the funniest thing you've ever said in my chat. I don't know, dude. I'm sitting here waiting. It's not just me. I've got it on live. When does his press conference start? I don't know. JSK, I did expect worse too, my friend. Bro, the new Madden has cross-platform coming soon, so you need to start a Madden League. We could do a Madden League, guys, if y'all want. That would be fun. I'm not very good. All right, I'll be honest with you. I am not very good. I wouldn't say I'm not very good. I would say I'm above. Okay. You got below average, you got average, you got above average, you got like an expert, right? Like, okay, so you like have what, rookie? I guess you could say rookie, pro, all pro, Madden, right? I'm like on the all pro level right now. I'm not all Madden yet. Not yet. Sweet. I also feel sorry for any child who had to watch yesterday's game and Thursday's game against the Bears. It was so sad. Laugh out loud, Marcos. Yeah, Marcos coming in here trolling, man. Marcos be coming in here trolling. But he does say some funny shit. I play the offense only usually. I got you, man. I miss the old days when Steve Burrow was quarterback of Panthers when the Panthers used to make the playoffs. Dude, I miss Jake Delhomme. I miss Jake Delhomme and Fox as our coach. I miss those days. Steven Davis, Deshaun Foster. Who else am I missing? Steven Davis, man. What a stud he was. Is this press conference going to start or what? What are we? Like, we're sitting here waiting for this press conference to start. Oh, I miss Luke Kuechly too, man. I miss Luke Kuechly too. He's on the staff, the Panthers staff, except it's radio. And then we'll make that tomorrow. Maybe fires are coming. Who knows? You might be right, Rock. You might be right. Trying to check my work email real quick. What is this? Is this a new trade show thing? Oh, shit. Okay. Frank's coming with a black eye. Ah. Yeah, well. Sucks to suck. Let's see what Chris Mack says. I missed the AKA, the Jack Stew. Dude, I feel you on that. I missed that too. All right, live press conference. What are we doing here? I mean, this is ridiculous, guys. I miss having double trouble. Thanks, Jess. Okay, I missed Angelo. Yeah, Deontay Foreman. Yep. Frank showed up with black eye. Temporary playing. Also miss Mushi Muhammad. I'm sure. Hope this conference will be worth the watch. But I know that we'll be disappointed again. But oh well. Yep. Exactly, Jarvis. Clay, how do you feel about the Black Eye Panther podcast this morning? Calling out all the Panther content creators. I mean, listen, they're mad just like we are. I know Q and those boys, man. I have nothing bad to say about those boys. I've been real and upfront with those boys ever since then, ever since I met them. I don't know if it was really a shot. I don't know if they were shooting their shots at me necessarily. Rock, I don't know if I was part of that, and if I am, well, they can feel the way that they want to feel. They have every right to feel the way they want to feel, but I haven't done anything. I don't talk shit about nobody. I don't talk shit about other content creators. If I have a problem with someone, I'll tell them straight to their face. I could call Q up right now and tell him to go fuck himself if I wanted to. Okay? But, I'm not that kind of a person because I'm not fake. And so I know he's not talking about me. Because I've been straight up honest with those boys ever since we met, ever since we've collabed. I get it that they want to get that they're so mad and they're so upset with everything and they're tired of everything that's going on with this organization. And as fans, they're strong-willed, they're strong-hearted fans. And I respect that. And I get it that they want people to contribute to their GoFundMe to get that billboard done. And I understand that. But I just think it would be a waste of money. You can get a billboard if you want to. I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't think it's worth it. You're not going to, if you get a billboard done, it's not going to make them, David Tepper's not going to do anything. If anything, he might try to find out who that was and try to sue the shit out of you. part of it's smart because I think it will get a message across. Oh,
Okay, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Frank, on tape, what did you see from the offensive line's performance?
Thought we showed some effectiveness in the run game, especially early on. Obviously, when the game was close, I thought we came out in some 12 personnel, and I thought we did a good job in that, running both inside zone and outside zone. Had a few other
yeah,
different
Rock. I mean,
schemed
I have
runs in
nothing to
there
say
that I
bad
thought
about those
the guys
boys.
executed
They have
well.
their
I thought the
cause,
backs
and that's
ran
what they
hard
want.
behind
Let
the
them go
pads.
for it.
Thought the tight ends
I'll
blocked
support
well.
them any way I
Both of
can,
them,
but I'm
particularly
not going
Tommy
to
was
get
very
involved in
aggressive,
it.
did a nice job. It was good to have Ian
Sorry.
back in there.
I don't think
that
it's
run game
a waste of money.
effectiveness
It's not
is
going to do
definitely something
anything.
we'll look to
The
build
owner's
on.
going to do what the owner wants to
With
do.
that said, you went under center a few times and were pretty successful. I think it's like 5 yards a clip. What made you move away from that, and why has that? Do you see that becoming a staple from now on?
So we have plans going in to do all three, under center, pistol, and gun. We adapted and adjusted, for different reasons as the game went on. Some things schematically, other things just to keep it, to change up, other things to play off of, other things we either were doing that game or would plan to do off of it, whether it be play action or something like that.
Do you anticipate any changes to the staff or the lineup as we get into this week?
Have not talked, no staff changes. Have not talked about the lineup. I'll meet with the coaches this afternoon. Just that evaluation is always ongoing. We'll kind of check the injuries here in a couple hours. We always do a meeting on the projected inactives, projected depth chart. That's always a Monday afternoon meeting.
No staff changes, and what's your philosophy behind that? Because usually when a team starts off with this record, fans and people from the outside in would want to see a staff change. So why have you made that decision?
Of course, there ain't no staff change.
Believe in our guys strongly. So players and coaches. And so, when it comes to the players,
Then if you ain't going to make staff changes, I can tell you who will.
And, we're all one team. So one guy might play more, one guy might play less. But you believe in all those guys. When it comes to the coaching staff, everybody you got one per position. So, feel great about the staff.
Panther Rex.
We have to, we're always looking to get better. Every coach, starting with
that
you,
is an interesting comment that you just said. It kind of makes sense.
But that's it. I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you learn anything with Marcus last year that maybe you've taken into these first few games with that kind of situation in mind?
Fair question. Not sure I'm prepared to answer that. My thoughts, this year are, hey, I got belief in our guys. Be patient, trust your guys. I think that's the biggest thing. You hired the people that you hired for a reason. You've seen evidence of good stuff. Stick with it. Stick with it and be patient and believe.
With the offensive struggles over the last 3 or 4 weeks, have you given any thought to bumping somebody like Thomas or Josh upstairs?
No. We have Parks Frazier's upstairs. Parks, guys will tell you, is extremely bright. He's in the quarterback room all the time. So, really think for right now, that's the best thing. I like our operation. I think our operation on game day has been really good, to be honest with you, as far as coaches' communication, as far as, the things that we're talking about.
All this is bullshit.
All
this is, guys, is bullshit. This is all I hear is bullshit right now.
No. I mean, right. My normal Monday schedule is morning with the players and coaches. And then usually it's not always the same, but typically it's Monday afternoon, Tuesday. Sometime it varies week to week.
You touched on the effectiveness of the O-line specific to the run game, looking at even sacks yesterday. What did you see in terms of what wasn't working or what may be the root cause?
The sacks that we gave up, a couple of them were just their players winning one-on-one matchups. and as we said, they have a couple. Micah Parsons is an elite player, and he won a couple matchups. There were a couple times where we had something, double team scheduled on one, and we didn't kind of get that executed quite right. There was another one where, we had a protection call that went from one thing to another, and probably needed to be in the first one rather than the second one, so it didn't quite get what we wanted. And then at the end of the day, as a play caller, you always want to try to protect the guys too. Like late in the game, we got a bunch of sacks late in the game. I hate getting sacks anytime, but I hate getting sacks late in the game that is not that's not close, because it reflects very poorly, on the offensive line. And, so as a play caller, when you get late in the game like that, you want to be smart about it. And we had the one series where we had 3 sacks in a row, where there was 12 minutes to go in the game. It was 30-10. And, there was still just enough time in the game where I felt like I had to be aggressive.
Why are you even smiling, Frank?
It was unfortunate. We got 3
You're
consecutive sacks on those 3 plays.
Get off the stand and get your ass out of Carolina. You're a bum.
We need to, as a group of players and coaches, do better in that regard.
Any consideration for giving Bryce a week to
Frank looks like had a whole 18-pack of Budweiser and a pack of Marlboro Lights last night. Marco's coming in hot.
Looking back on this,
I love it.
He did a lot.
I love
of
that
things.
comment right there.
It's important for him and for us. He's our leader. He's our leader on offense.
You ain't lying. That boy looked like he could put down a few right there.
The reports out there that you're on the hot seat right now.
I don't know how he can't either, Jarvis. Just the way his demeanor is. He's lost this locker room. You can just tell. Look, his head is down the whole time. He's literally speaking like this with his head down.
Getting into that film.
That is a guy that is beaten,
from it,
broken,
coach it better, play it better,
and is just
and
lost
get
it
your
all.
Ears, your eyes and ears, and everything out towards your next opponent. We talk about it in there all the time.
Panther Raider X, I don't think that would happen.
We all know what we sign up for when we get.
You'd rather get arrested.
So I'm
or assault.
I'm
battery.
comfortable with that. Just keep working. Put your head down and focus
and
on your
trespassing.
Work. So I don't think that's not a distraction.
Right. During the week, it seems like it is a mellow environment in the locker room. Everybody's getting along. There is like a shared vision. But do you think at some point it becomes like it's too comfortable? You talk about the healthy, kind of tension. Do you think there needs to be more tension at 1 and 9?
I don't. I think, I think coaches and players, there's a lot of honest talk when we turn on the film.
I know, I'm just messing.
There's a lot of hard coaching, and there's a lot of player to player, and honestly, we start watching a tape, and before we can hold a player accountable, they're holding themselves accountable. I'll show a tape and I'm ready to, I'm getting ready to make some corrections. And before I can even say them, the guys are standing up and call, that's on me, coach. And he's telling the whole room, that's on me. I got to do better there. As coaches, I got to do a better job of putting
so why aren't we seeing any improvement then, Frank?
If
that's what they're doing. Why aren't we seeing any improvement?
That could have been coached.
Why hasn't the play calling improved? Why hasn't the performances improved?
Good way.
Make it make sense, Frank. Make it make sense.
Guys are high character guys, willing to take accountability. So I think we have
exactly. Let's just go ahead, Frank. Go ahead and go to your office. There's a beautiful app out there called Indeed or LinkedIn. You go in there, you create an account with your email address. You load up your resume. And then you start applying for jobs. Or you send it over to ESPN or Fox Sports.
I always talk with Campbell beforehand. Hey,
you get on a panel for reporting.
Rotation.
But there's this great app. Those are 2 great apps for you. That would be my suggestion, Frank.
Later in the game,
go out there. Go get that Indeed. Go get that LinkedIn. Update that resume.
We talked beforehand.
Just go. That's what I would do if I was you, my friend.
And then, because they're with the guys on the side, they kind of know. And a lot of times, like for example, one of the guys will come up and say, "Hey, I'm going to make this switch."
Marcus
you know,
Cash,
you
Matt
know,
Rule
and
over
I'll give
Frank
him,
Wright.
you know, the thumbs up. So that's always kind of a week-to-week thing.
Back on the bottle, yeah, man.
We haven't talked about that yet.
From the outside looking in, we don't know all blocking protections. I know critics are going to weigh in on what they see with their eyes.
Like I said,
Interior standpoint.
Frank Wright. There's two wonderful apps out there. It's called LinkedIn and Indeed.
Listen, I love
You can
our group.
apply to
I love our
ESPN,
group,
CBS
and,
Sports, Fox Sports.
You know, we're just going to continue
On all those. All you got to do is upload your
As the
resume.
coaches, you know, I think that group is, you know, like I said, we made some good progress in the run game. We just need to translate that to pass protection and find a way to be better pass protectors. So those interior guys did a great job in the run game.
The coaching staff
now
can
we
do the
just gotta
same thing.
get things a little tightened up in the pass game.
I think coaching in general, not just in NFL, NBA, baseball,
I mean, you know,
anything that's a team
there was a couple
sport,
bad
coaching
sequences, and as you
has
said, there,
to
you know,
is one of the most important
looking at that tape. I know I mentioned this last night, but looking at it again today, it hurt just as bad today. Where at one point you turn the film on and there's 34
we can't say that
seconds
about
to
Frank.
go
You're right, Marcos.
in the third quarter,
You're
so
right.
we're almost in the fourth quarter. The score 17-10, and they got the ball and it's 30.
Guys, make sure you pound that like button.
So we make a stop right there, and they're punting to us, and we got the ball. You know,
Make sure you
going to
pound
try
that
to
like
tie the
button,
game.
guys, and subscribe to
And,
the channel.
You know, so the point of that, answering your question, is we had all those penalties earlier on, more than we normally have, and we're still at a 7-point game at the end of the third quarter.
Oh, wow.
With an opportunity to be getting
Yeah,
the ball
but
and
the
going and scoring.
penalties
We
continued
just
to
need one game,
happen.
but we just
And the
couldn't get off
offensive
field.
line
The
continued
defense
not
has
to
been playing
protect.
great the whole year.
And
We did need to stop right there.
your
and we're
rookie
able to get
quarterback
it.
was getting killed.
So bad news on the penalties. Good news was
And
we
turnovers were
overcoming
happening.
that to be in a position to get back in that game and tie that game up.
Dude, this guy is giving us nothing that we don't already know.
I was curious. The pass protection has been an issue all year. What did you see during your evaluation?
James Campen needs to go too. Deuce Staley, go ahead and find another place to go. Become a running back coach, because
I
that's
think the
about
main
as good
thing
as
in
you're
the
going to be as a running back coach.
evaluation,
Sean
when you're
Jefferson, you
looking
might
at
as
the
well
tape
go
from
back
last
to
year,
see
what
if the
stuck
Rams
out
will
was the
hire
run
you
game.
back.
You know, there's no question about that. We all know that. We all know what this team did.
Thomas Brown, you might as well see if the
in the
Rams will
second
hire
half
you
of the
back.
season,
Frank Wright, again, Indeed,
playing the
LinkedIn.
brand of football that they
Great
were
app
playing. It
to
wasn't
use.
a bunch of
Update that
drop-back
resume.
passes, you know,
Go ahead and
so
do that.
not as much evidence for that. For,
Let's see what
hey,
else.
you get a
Evero, you can
get
stick
another,
around.
you know,
I'm
get
cool with
Bryce Young
you.
and you're going to spread it out and, you know, kind of do different things, not play the same brand that we played last year here.
Why are we sitting here listening to
But
this
what
bullshit?
I saw, there
Why
was
do we
good
do this to
evidence. It
ourselves?
was just a different style, a different brand of offense.
Chat. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Briefly.
Yeah, he finished the game. We're going to have to see, you know, see how he does here, you know, getting things checked out, but he did finish the game.
Surgically repaired knee.
It was.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Scott Fitter, LinkedIn. Yeah, I mean, this is just, I mean, what a freaking pitiful press conference. I was hoping he was fired too, Supernova. I ain't gonna lie. I was hoping he was gonna come on there and say, you know, Charlotte Sports won because my beef with Staley is he just stands on the sideline, does nothing. He does not do anything to motivate these players. None of these guys get in any of these players' faces. And that's the problem with the NFL today, man. Coaches used to be able to get in these players' faces and wring their necks. And I used to get my ass reamed out when I played in high school. My coach would come up in my face and cuss me out. But yeah, we can't do that with these guys either when they're getting paid millions of dollars because they're soft. You know, at least Evero's getting in the defense's face. At least Evero's getting, you know, being involved and talking to the players. You don't see that. I haven't seen that from any other coach. I mean, Marcus, I mean, you might be on to something. And I listen, if that's the case, I'm glad for Deuce Staley, that he came here. But again, to be close to his mom. But again, he's not doing us any favors. Only because we thought he'd get fired, but as usual, it's the same disappointing press conference. Yep. Yeah, Evero did yesterday. And that's what I love. Because he wants these guys to excel. He wants these guys to perform well. He wants them to do good. He wants to discipline these guys. Good. As you should. And that just proves why, right? And that press conference right there just proves why that Frank Wright needs to be fired. He's got his head down the whole time, and he's giving us the same bullshit press conference. But the problem is what is he trying to protect them from? What is he trying to do? Because him protecting the offense is doing us no favors. Yeah, that's why Evero needs to be head coach. Exactly. That was a bad dude. Marcos Cash said it correctly. He looks depressed. He's got his head down the whole time, talking like this, and it looks like he's been drinking and smoking cigarettes. And I would too if I was in that situation. If I had to deal with this bullshit, deal with an owner that's getting involved in operations and got a shitty ass team, I'd do the same damn thing. He will get in your face. He will. Scott should be the one fired. Yeah, he should be the first one to go. It should go Scott Fitterer first, and then Frank. It was reported when he got hired. Okay, I did not know that, Marcos. Thank you for the insight. Our beat reporters are soft, though. I did appreciate Dave Newton's question yesterday. He asked, why can't the offense score touchdowns? I mean, it's a good question. We're all wondering the same thing. Think about it for years, though. This team has not think about it for years, though. This team has been terrible in the red zone. And this is our 6th consecutive losing season. 6 consecutive losing season. And we're 30 and 60 something with David Tepper as our owner. Oh, he's most definitely babying Bryce. He's coming across real soft on the players. He is a soft because he's a yes man. He's a yes man. And that's an issue. I'm okay with it. I'd rather shit a cactus and wipe my ass on sandpaper than listen to Ty Johnson. I needed that, man. Oh, that one might be even better than Marcos Cash's one. Oh my God. I needed that. I needed that. That was awesome. That was good. Ty, that is a classic comment, man. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that comment. Yep, exactly. Hey, that's what I've been saying, man. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many cooks. Might be tied to part ways with Campen too. Yeah, might be. Granted, the talent and depth there is an issue too, Rock. But we've seen but again, I think the scheme's an issue. But I think it's a talent and depth issue there. But I think Campen has not really helped and made any progress or changes within this offensive line to help the situation out either. So Campen probably could go. It's been a painful season. I heard childbirth is easier. You're welcome, my guy. Yeah. Ty coming in hot with the comments. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, man. Let SpongeBob coach the team. Dude, my dog to coach the team. If I just had a set of plays, right, and I just let him use his paw to pick which play, guarantee you he'd call a better game. It's like that. It's like the dog on TikTok that everybody sees that hits the ball up in the air and makes the picks, right? Let that dog just hit the ball up in the air, whichever play it lands on. He could do it. I wish Cam Newton could be the QB coach or on the offensive staff. Jarvis, I love Cam, but I don't see Cam being a coach. I don't see him being a QB coach or an offensive coach staff. I don't see him being that kind of guy. I don't see him just being a coach. I really don't. I love the guy. I just don't see Cam Newton as a coach. I just can't. I also think the cap space the team can get should be spent on 3 new offensive linemen. Charlotte Sports 1, my friend, I am all about building within the trenches. I am all about building within the trenches, and that's on the offensive side and defensive side. I really want us to go offensive line heavy, whether it's draft or free agency. So, yeah, I'm all about that for sure. Pro show. Are these guys still going over here, huh? Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. They're still alive over there, huh? Free agency, this team can't draft stars. No, they can't. And they won't. Not with Scott Fitter and that scout team. Byrne, Luvu, Brown, I would say got all signed, all 3. Yeah, I would re-sign. I mean, Burns. For me, man, I'd rather if I could just trade Burns, I would. He's been inconsistent. He is not worth $30 million in my opinion. I would keep, if I'm going to build around him and I had to and I had no other choice, sure, I would add him in there. But right now, I am not very happy with Brian Burns' performance lately. He's not playing like a guy who's worth $30 million. He's just not. He's not consistent enough. Look at Micah Parsons. I mean, if it's me, I'm trading Burns. I'm building around Luvu and Brown. But if I had no other choice and I'm not getting the value out of the trade with Burns, yes, I would re-sign him. But I would tell him I'm not giving him 30 mil. He's not worth 30. Yeah, Charlotte, I broke that down too. We did the cap space. I did a cap space breakdown. If you cut Dante Jackson, so let's say you cut Dante Jackson, if you release him, you release Hayden Hurst, you release Ian Thomas, and there was one more. It was Jackson, Hurst, Ian Thomas, and there was one more guy. I can't remember who it was, but we would save up like around, I think it was around $16.7 million added on to the cap space. That's what they're going to do, man. They're going to tag Burns because he'll get paid $22 million. They'll be able to afford it in the year after that because then we'll have one of the highest cap spaces in 2025. And then that's when they'll probably hit the free agency market heavy one day when that cap space opens up in 2025. They'll get the re-signing and all that stuff. Derek Brown is a big ass grizzly bear eating those double teams up. Dude, he showed out yesterday a little bit. He had He had a couple double teams that he ate up Tony Pollard on. He was getting in that backfield very honestly. Derek Brown is who we thought he was. He's starting to improve. He's getting better and better every single year. Cam is willing to be Bryce Young's backup. He said that on draft night. I know. I'm surprised like the Browns or maybe Cincinnati hasn't reached out to him. Hell, I'm surprised the Jets haven't even reached out to him. I guarantee you Cam Newton would be better than Zach Wilson. And I can guarantee you in Cincinnati's Cam would be better than Jake Browning. And I don't know, Dorian Thompson didn't look too bad. Jackson was his originally been good. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him, man. I mean, after the bye week he improved, but before that he was getting cooked. That $16.7 million could really buy a team a line that could protect the QB, have a real pass rusher to help Derek Brown. Yeah, it could. 16.7. You have to eat some dead cap, but the dead cap doesn't affect it as much as the regular cap, right? When you cut some of the guys I was mentioning, that there will be some dead cap space. But once next year comes around, once 2024 comes around, we only have like $1 million in dead cap. So if you cut those guys, it will add to the dead cap, but not a lot. It won't add up like we had this past year in dead cap. Cam Newton smoking bud now. He's not worried about playing football now. Hey, I mean, dude, he's got a podcast, which is probably has over 1 million, if not yet, over 500,000, right, on YouTube or wherever it's on. You know, he's made his millions of dollars. He's got his own clothing brand. I mean, the guy's fine. He don't really need to play, right? He doesn't really need to play. He's pretty much set up for life. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we do this offseason. Yeah. Between the draft and the free agency, but it all depends again, guys. You know, Rock, to this comment, it all depends on who they bring in as the next GM and who that GM brings in as the next head coach, and if they are on the same page. And I think that's the biggest key, is getting a GM and a head coach on the same page. Falcons get Mac Jones or Justin Fields. Panthers are kind of in land. Falcons aren't getting Justin Fields. Justin Fields will stay in Chicago. If the Chicago is smart, they build around Justin Fields, in my opinion. They get Marvin Harrison Jr., and they build up that offensive line and the defensive line. Chicago, literally, if they build up an offensive line, defensive line, get Marvin Harrison Jr., they will be set for the next 5 to 6 years. Guarantee you. Yeah, he did. CeeDee Lamb was eating him up. He plays Madden now, man. He's got it going for him. I mean, yeah, and that too, right? I guess, Panther Raider X, does he do like Madden streams where he's like playing other people and stuff? Or is he like, what does he do? I haven't seen any of his Madden streams. So, did any of you, that's a random ass question, Carito. But I've seen it. I wasn't a fan. I didn't think it was that good. Rock, to your question, who would you like to hire first? Well, first things first, you got to get a GM. All right? Like, you can't do it ass backwards. You can't do, head coach, then a GM. You need to get a GM first, and then What David Tepper needs to do is sit his ass down. He needs to get a GM, a new GM, a good one. Probably Adam Peters over in San Francisco. And then the assistant GM of Kansas City is another guy I've been looking at. Assistant GM, Kansas City. I'm trying to remember his name. Brett Veach is their general manager. I don't know who. I'm trying to find who their assistant GM is. Assistant to general manager. Is that who it is? Kunal Tana? I think is his name. So I'd probably go after them. And then I'd probably hire Ben Johnson. If I could get Ben Johnson to take an interview. And then I would get, like Eric Bieniemy. I think it depends who my GM is. As well as like, it depends who the GM is and, where he comes from. Because like, if I get the assistant GM from KC, it makes more sense for me to go after the head coach of KC, right? Or not the head coach, go after Eric Bieniemy. So to this question, Rock, I would say if I go GM or head coach, I think it depends where the GM comes from. If I'm Adam Peters, I know Adam Peters is going to go after Ben Johnson, right? But that's what I would do. The Bears are not smart, sadly. No, they're not. I'm telling you, man, they need to build around Justin Fields. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's the next Patrick Mahomes. You've seen what he does against top 25 teams. He sucks. He's like 2-5, 2-6, maybe even worse than that, like 2-7 against top 25 teams in college football. So if y'all think Caleb Williams is going to be any good, you're sadly mistaken. Drake May will be better than Caleb Williams. And Drake May is a franchise quarterback in the NFL. That's just my opinion. I don't think Caleb Williams is that good. I don't think he would be any better than Bryce is right now. I think Fields, you have a better chance there at the Bears with Fields. You build around him. You build an offensive line. You get in Marvin Harrison Jr., and you build around him. Look what Fields did yesterday against Detroit. When Fields came back off his injury, he almost won that game yesterday. They were fighting their asses off. But also, that head coach has not been doing them any favors either. He's on the hot seat, too, to get fired over there in Chicago. Nah. Yeah, Atlanta ain't taking Mac Jones. They ain't coming for him. Oh, he's playing. Oh, is that what Cam does now? Shit, makes sense. Yeah, but Rock, that's doing it ass backwards. I feel like you got to go GM before you go to your head coach. You know what I mean? J Issue, what up? I'm just answering comments. J Issue, that's the topic. I'm just going through comments. I've already gone through everything. I can see why you say that too, Jay, but I think you build around him. I think he's going to be better than Caleb Williams. But if they're going to get the first overall pick, they better go Drake May. If they're going to go another quarterback there in Chicago, you better not take Caleb Williams. You better take Drake May. What about Jalen Daniels? I like him, but we ain't getting him. Guys, we're stuck with Bryce Young until we get a new GM and a new head coach. And again, I told y'all, they'll either, and if whoever the new GM and the new head coach is, and they're on the same page, again, they will either decide to keep Bryce or they will trade bait him. Watch. Telling you right now, whoever the next head coach is and the GM, if they're on the same page, they will either agree to keep him and think they can build around him and they think he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, or they will trade bait him. That's what's going to happen. And that's as long as special ed David Tepper stays out of it. Yeah. If I'm Caleb Williams, I'm staying another year because I'm making more money. He'll be making more money. He's making more money now than some NFL players are, man. With that NIT. Yeah, it was a good game. Can't go GM before head coach when you know the only real option is to overpay Eric B. I don't know about all that. I think you're doing it ass backwards if you go GM if you go head coach before GM. You have to go GM before head coach. Because if you're smart, or NIL, thank you, Panther Radio X. If you're smart, you get a GM and you let if David Tepper stays out of it, he lets the GM bring in his head coach. That's how successful NFL teams work. They go out, that owner sits back, does not get in football operations. He goes out, he hires the GM that he wants. But then that GM gets to pick his head coach. That's how it works. And then the owner sits back and chills. That's how NFL teams are successful. You don't go head coach before GM. That's just ass backwards. Get it? I get that, Rock, but it doesn't always work out that way. It does not always work out that way. We've been doing it ass backwards this whole time. We went and got Matt Rule before we went and got Scott Fitterer, and look where that has gotten us now. That is my whole point here. Yeah, I just don't know if Ben Johnson or Eric Bieniemy are willing to do that. If I'm the GM, I'm telling David Tepper, oh yeah, we're going to make Bryce work out, but then go draft a QB and trading Bryce. AJ, honestly, I wouldn't be mad about it because at this point, what are you going to do? NIL, yeah, I think I said NIT. That's my bad. I'm thinking about college basketball, NIT over here. Jesus, we've been going at it for 2.5 hours, guys. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content, guys. Yes, I agree. That should be the process. We don't do that on Mint Street. Eric B is the most winning coach available, and the only way we inject the winning into the Panthers. Come on, who wouldn't want to work with Eric? Hey, listen, I'm all about some Eric Bieniemy, man. I wouldn't be mad about it. But I do like Ben Johnson too. Yo, Clay, check out Braylon Allen, running back from Wisconsin. And get it. Oh, I know who he is. We're gonna do some more mock drafts, man. But here's the thing, man. I felt like my last mock draft was very good. I get it. Troy Franklin's not falling there to the 4th round. Okay, that's fine. But guys, this is why it's called mock drafts. And all of y'all over there on Twitter, if you're watching this, okay, from Twitter, that have commented on my mock drafts, they are mock drafts. Some of them are not going to be realistic. So hop off my nuts. Okay? Hop off my nuts. It just happened that way. Okay. And then some of you are saying, well, use a different simulator. I don't want to pay for a simulator. Okay. If you want to give me some money to do a realistic mock draft, I'll try to do it as realistic as possible. But hop off my nuts. All right. And trust me, y'all want so much. Like the Panthers fans now, and it's on Twitter too, and it's even been in my chat. Y'all's expectations are not realistic. That's the issue. You want so many things now because of being through shit for the past 6 years. Your expectations now are delusional. And I get it. Okay? I understand. We're all pissed off. We're tired of this shit. I get it. But these are mock drafts that y'all are commenting on and getting all bent out of shape. Let's be real. Okay? They're mock drafts. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be entertaining. Okay? And I can guarantee you, I have tried to make them as realistic as possible. It's not the easiest thing to do, okay? Even if I go to a different platform, it's not going to be that easy. So relax and hop off my nuts, okay? I'm done talking about the mock drafts. So if you like them, great. If you don't, move the hell on. If not, kiss my ass. Simple, easy as that, folks. Bryce Young will be traded, but will not be surprised if the Rams give you a first. I will not be surprised if the Rams give you a first round for Bryce. Damn, Carito, you are. I don't even know what to say to this comment. No one's giving us a first round for Bryce. I can tell you that. That's all I got to say, honestly, to that. Eric B would bring toughness, accountability. He's hard on his players, made them competitive with Sam Howell. Absolutely. Absolutely. Be a game changer, be a culture change. I love it. It's coaching, guys. How is it that Josh Dobbs can be so productive and just join the damn team a week ago? So, no training camp. Jeff, that's a wonderful point, my friend. That is a wonderful point. I'm so glad you made this comment because I have been all over this offensive line's ass. I've been all over Frank Wright's ass today. I've been all over Scott Fitter's ass, David Tepper's ass. I've been on Bryce's ass too. And I've been on the wide receivers' asses. But, you know, again, that's why I say it's not all Bryce's fault. If Bryce Young did get traded, who should he go to? As for me, I'd like to see him with the Giants. Honestly, guys, that's a good question. And Jarvis, that's a great question. It's a hard question for me to answer because it depends on who would give us. You know, I could if it's like a Josh Rosen thing where we get a 3rd round pick for him, I would take it because if you can get a 3rd round pick for him, I know we wasted a 1st round pick and we did all that trading and stuff. I get all that, but you're not going to get a 1st round pick for him. But if I got a 3rd round pick out of it, and maybe a player or making wide receiver or hell, an offensive lineman to help bolster up this offensive line and a 3rd round pick, count me in. But I'm being realistic though. I just don't see it. I don't think Bryce is getting traded, guys. I really don't. I don't care what GM or next head coach comes in here. I don't think that they'll trade him. I think they'll try to make it work. But it is a possibility that the next GM and the next head coach could use him as trade bait. Not out the question. AJ's like, all right, get your ass going. Get your ass going. That's funny. Chat, y'all are going off today, chat. I mean, the Rams could, but I just don't see them giving a 1st round pick for him, Carito. But listen, if it was, I'm right there with AJ. I'd get him on the first flight before the ink dries or even touches the paper. I mean, well, yeah, absolutely. 8, 9, 7, 10. If we got that, but again, if the situation's still going to be like this and changes aren't made, I won't be surprised if the season doesn't start out the same way it did this year. And honestly, I'm not. You know, I'm not going to say what next year is going to look like. Why is Frank still head coach? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how either one of them still have a job. Jay Issue, what the fuck, Clay? What did I say? What did I say, Jay? Remember to take into account what receivers work best with Young's passing game when drafting. Mingo doesn't seem to be a good fit. I don't think Mingo's an outside guy either, and they're playing him on the outside. I think he's a slot receiver, and Thielen's taken over that position, and you put Mingo in there. But also, again, like I said, Mingo, his effort is non-existent, man. He's a bum. The reason why I'm saying Bryce Young will be traded that a lot of Alabama reporters have been saying. I mean, Alabama reporters can say what they want. I just can't. I'm not too sure if that's the case. Frank is ruining the little bit of Bryce before he gets fired. Oh, I know. I know that. I've been saying, I said it earlier on the show today, though, Jay. I think we need to sit him. I think we need to sit him the rest of the season. You're doing him no favors at this point. You might as well go ahead and get Andy Dalton out there and sit him the rest of the season. Yep, Marcos Cash, you're right. I get it. I get why you feel the way you feel too, okay? I see both sides of every story, okay? But again, this front office needs to be wiped clean. This whole entire coaching staff needs to be wiped clean. We talk about Stroud, but Tank Dell was the real missed pick in that draft. Yeah. Tank Dell by far has outperformed Mingo. Amon-Ra St. Brown was another miss. Micah Parsons was another miss. If we go down the line of the drafts and what players we could have drafted, what misses we missed on, it's insane. It's insane. But again, we're not going to accept mediocre. But me as the owner, David Tepper, who's special ed and meddling with football operations, I am 30-62 overall as an owner. Get the fuck out of here. Alabama reporters rarely report about former Crimson Tide players unless they get injured, cut, or pay, maybe trade. I have no idea how they get these reports. They probably have insides. They probably have a bunch of insides, other reporters, or people within the organizations, or they have friends that are close to the organization that they know that can give them insight. Who knows? I get it, Jarvis. I get it. Well, guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream today. It was a great show today. I mean, what a good show it was. We got to talk about, Frank Wright, the coaching staff. We got to do a game recap, breakdown. Talked about Bryce's performance. We talked about how this organization has failed every test, every way, shape, and form about it. We talked about next head coaches' possibilities. We talked about a lot of good stuff today. And shout out to all y'all in the comments. Everyone that has liked and subscribed here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate everyone that continues to show me support and continues to come in here and like, subscribe, click that post notifications bell. I really do. So again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click that post notifications bell. Make sure you join the Discord. The link tree is down below. So if you want to join the Discord for the Ropp Star Gang, make sure you do that. The link tree is down below. Make sure you can also check me out on all my social media. I'm very active on there. And also go check out BetUS. That's the sponsorship of this live stream. BetUS. Bet responsibly. Okay? I don't always bet, but when I do, I go BetUS. Okay? Because they match up to 125% on your first bet. So if you're a betting degenerate like myself, well, I get a free $125 on my first bet. So, and I did. So make sure you check that out as well. It helps out the channel. So, gonna get some shorts out to you today as well. And yeah. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I'm going to hop off of here. We're going on almost 3 hours now. So I appreciate everyone joining. Going to grab some lunch, go to the gym, and get some shorts out done to you guys. And again, I'll see you tomorrow. Film sesh tomorrow, guys. Film sesh. Everyone that's in here, make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to be doing a film sesh. So make sure you comment, subscribe. Come check out the film sesh. It'll be great. It'll be good. We'll really see the Keenan. We'll really see the big eye test on what the issue was in the Dallas game. So, again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Peace.